I tell you a true crime story and we drink. The following content may be disturbing to some. Discretion is advised. If you choose to enjoy one of our themed margaritas, please ensure that you are of legal drinking age and have fun but drink responsibly. Are you ready, kids? I can't hear you. Oh? Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Then keep watching now and later flop like a fish.
Today's margarita is in honor of your yellow, happy-go-lucky main character of today's mayhem. Are you ready, kids? I feel like you're saying aye aye out there, so let's get started. We'll start with 2 parts tequila. To that, we'll add 1 part simple syrup and 1 part triple sec. One part lime juice, and, of course, for our pineapple living friend, 2 parts pineapple juice. We will, as usual, pop the top on and shake it up. SpongeBob may not be a classy fellow, but I imagine Gary the snail to be one, so you're going to want a bougie strain over fresh ice. If you're wanting a sugary drink in honor of childhood cartoons, you'd probably put a sugar rim on this one, but y'all know me, we're going with salt.
SpongeBob SquarePants is an American animated comedy television series created by former marine biologist Stephen Hillenburg for Nickelodeon. The series, which debuted in 1999, chronicles the endeavors and adventures of our title character and his underwater friends in the fictional aquatic city of Bikini Bottom. Judging by the characters that Stephen Hillenburg used in Bikini Bottom, I'm not quite sure how good of a marine biologist he actually was. Anyway, SpongeBob SquarePants is America's 5th longest running animated series, behind Family Guy, Arthur, South Park, and The Simpsons. The year was 2004. The number 1 song on the radio was My Boo by Alicia Keys and Usher. BTK had just begun his prison sentence. The Summer Olympics, held in Greece, had just ended a few months before, and Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps was building a new cabinet to house his 8 medals. And on November 14th, 2004, the cinematic masterpiece, SpongeBob SquarePants the Movie, was released in theaters. Did it make a lot of money? Sure. Almost as much as National Treasure, the number 1 box office hit that was released the same weekend. And heck, SpongeBob SquarePants the Movie even won an Australian Kids' Choice Award. But today's episode isn't about a movie. It's about an inflatable. Well, several inflatables. Starting in 2001, Burger King, the king of burgers, had begun a promotional partnership with the sponge who wears pants, his starfish friend, his squid frenemy, and all the residents of Bikini Bottom. In 2004, on the eve of the release of the pantsed sponge onto the big screen, Burger King was quick to capitalize and promote the sweet little yellow dude. Not only could you get a indestructible plastic figure of a starfish driving a burger in your kids' meal, one of 12 available toys, you could get a limited edition SpongeBob SquarePants watch. Fun tip, you can actually snag the whole collection of watches for $80 today on eBay in case you're wanting to wear a plankton on your wrist. Considering they cost $1.99 with the purchase of a kids' meal in 2004, not a terrible investment. Anyway, in order to announce to the entire neighborhood that SpongeBob was with the king, Burger King restaurants around the country began to put giant inflatable SpongeBobs on their roofs. These inflatables were valued at somewhere between $500 and $1,500 each. And by huge, I mean huge. SpongeBob stood, well, actually sat, at 9 feet tall, weighing over 50 pounds. 4,700 of these inflatables went onto the roofs of Burger Kings across the country. And then they started to disappear. Before the end of the carnage, dozens of SpongeBob SquarePants inflatable balloons would be ripped from their homes atop Burger Kings across the country, from Utah to Florida. Police from various towns across the United States were put on the hunt for those giant inflatables that disappeared sometime between sundown and sunup when the restaurants were closed. And though police weren't necessarily stumped, they didn't have too many theories about what happened to the giant SpongeBob inflatables. Some chalked it up to a childhood prank, and others theorized that people were just looking for a fad item for a Christmas present. At least one fan theory suggests that Plankton, which, as the true Bikini Bottom fans know, has a rival restaurant to the Krabby Patty, where SpongeBob SquarePants works, was responsible for the thefts. According to a Burger King statement, one ransom note from said Plankton was discovered at the site of one of the Spongenappings. Several of these giant inflatable yellow friends did appear on various online auction sites, including eBay. Even though stolen property isn't allowed on eBay, even eBay concedes that it's nearly impossible to know what has been stolen and what has been acquired legitimately. So they didn't really regulate the inflatables, stolen or not. Burger King acted quickly, desperate for the return of the inflatables. They offered a king's ransom. If a tip came into their national headquarters that led to the safe return of an inflatable, a reward would be paid in burger bucks. Good for a year's supply of the original Whopper sandwiches. Russ Klein, Burger King's chief marketing officer at the time, had this to say, quote, "We are concerned about our missing massive sponges and the effect their absence is having on SpongeBob fans, employees, children, and parents everywhere. We hope the reward will help these AWOL SpongeBobs find their way home." End quote. No tips led to the return of the inflatable sponges, at least none that yielded the Whopper reward. In early 2005, a 19-year-old from Fallon, California, returned one of the yellow inflatable sponges, a crumpled mess of its former self, according to police. The suspect first took the SpongeBob to a Burger King, hoping to return him with no questions asked. But then he was told to take it to the local police station, where it would be booked as evidence. Evidently, late one night in November of 2004, the teen and 5 of his friends were involved. One of them, who remains unnamed, got on the top of the roof and threw SpongeBob down to the ground. They tied him down in a pickup, drove him to a local field, and deflated him. He lived in a shed for a few weeks before his return. At least one other unnamed person was caught for the thievery. In 2007, just before the statute of limitations was up on these thefts, acting upon a series of tips, the Sheboygan Police Department in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, arrested a 26-year-old man after finding one of the SpongeBob inflatables in a garage. He was cited for misdemeanor theft and released. SpongeBob was said to be in good condition, although the police department said, quote, "The exact extent of his injuries are unknown," end quote. Indeed, inflatable SpongeBobs were found in a variety of odd places, including apartment complexes, the woods, and in one strange instance, an apartment fire. All of the formerly stolen SpongeBob inflatables were either given back to Burger King or were damaged beyond repair and were thrown away. So what do you think? If you were given the chance, would you scale the walls of a Burger King in order to climb on the roof and steal a 9-foot inflatable that you could... I don't know what you could do with it. What does one do with a 9-foot stolen inflatable? What was the motive behind these crimes? What type of person steals a SpongeBob SquarePants inflatable from the roof of a fast food restaurant? Do you think some of these inflatables ended up in, I don't know, fraternity houses? And what about you? Have you ever tried to pull off a stunt like this? Did you get away with it? Or did you get caught? Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope if you're watching on YouTube, you'll like this video and take a few minutes to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And be sure to hit the bell so you can be notified when new episodes are posted. While you're at it, post a comment or 15. That helps us hit the algorithm. I hope you'll also leave a review if you're listening on a podcast app, and head over to social media. Links are in the description box. Next week, we head to the wilderness to explore the motive of a man who terrorized the USPS and the people of the United States for several decades. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber himself. Don't forget to shop for the ingredients for that margarita. Trust me, you're gonna need it. I'll see you next week, and remember, there are always alternatives to murder and sponge nappings.